Good morning. How y'all doing? We're going to continue on fear today, and I'm going to read. I'm going to take a reading out of the book. Again, Half Black, Half White: Finding Me and My Place in America. And if you haven't got it yet, you can go to Amazon.com, Barnes and Noble, or you can actually go to the stores and get it from there. Real briefly, I'm gonna. The part I'm reading you in the book is I went back out to California. I'm from California originally. I went back out to California to clean up some of my past. At this point in my life, I'm in law school and I have some felony warrants out for me in California, and they had been out for a long time. But I knew that it was getting about that time to clean it up, and the messages that I was getting from God were telling me that I should go out there and clean it up. So let me read this. Let me read this part real quick. One thing I learned that day was God will help you get through a fearful issue. Getting kicked through the door is very painful. I went kicking and screaming all the way, asking God why He had to do it this way. The bottom line is that we're going to face this fear one way or another. I talked to my friend who gave me direction and strength. They reminded me of all the things that I had told them about how awesome God has been protecting me and guiding me in my old and new life. After getting off the phone, I asked God, if you want me to sit in a cell to make amends for what I have done, then I will do it. I don't like it, and today I'm upset with you, but I'm going to do it. You've always been there for me, and whatever your will is for me, then I accept it. And I'm going to skip over a couple paragraphs and get to this other part. The first thing that came to my mind was that God will never fail me, as long as I keep letting Him run the show. I knew He had brought me out to California for something, even though He tricked me to get me out there and confront this beast. I probably wouldn't have gone out there if I had known I was going to walk into a courtroom cold turkey. I'm glad the outcome was what I wanted, but I was willing to accept whatever would have happened that morning in the courtroom. I was also very happy with myself and the amount of faith that I had and my willingness to turn it over to Him to handle. My normal behavior was always to cut and run when things got difficult. For me to accept those possible consequences and rely on faith and go through the issue was a sign of growth. The leap of faith that I exhibited then was huge, and once again His hands were there to catch me. The mountains that I am jumping from seem to be getting taller and taller. The bottoms are getting darker, and despite the bottom not being in sight, I am able to have faith and not let my fears dictate my future decisions. The decisions that I made in California was not made out of fear, but out of faith. So, with fear, like I said, even yesterday, sometimes, God will kick us through that door. And for me, Him kicking me through that door was, I relied on a human telling me something that took me out to California. I'm here in Texas now, and I flew out to California to take care of this matter. I had been getting some signs, but I wasn't really ready to take that chance. Everything was going good here in Texas, and I didn't want to fly out there and go in that courtroom and the judge put me in prison. I didn't want to do that. And what ended up happening was me meeting this powerful person. I'll let you read the book. Me reading this powerful person, and this powerful person said, "You know what? I called some people. It's all taken care of. Go out there." And I went. And I went because I had faith in that person. Somehow my faith had shifted from God to that person. I got out there. The person or the judge who was supposed to be handling my case, he wasn't available, and so it just led to this tremendous fear. And I'm telling this story because even though I went out there, because of this faith that I have in this person, when I got out there, ultimately my decision came based upon a faith in God. The messages were clear to me, and I took that leap of faith and went inside that courtroom, and everything turned out, just fine. So anytime that you're taking a leap, of faith, and you're depending upon somebody else to do what they say that they're going to do, remember, your faith is always going to be backed by whatever your higher power is. So let's say if you're even someone who's moving to another city or moving to another state to be with someone you just met, and you get out there and the relationship doesn't go well, but you took that leap of faith to go out there. But if the signs told you that you were supposed to go out there, after, of course, you talked with a friend about it, and if you took that chance to go out there and you're taking a chance on living, I think that's what it's all about. Maybe God didn't want you out there not necessarily for that relationship, but to do something else, because your faith cannot be all in that person. I truly believe anyway that we are just here just to help each other and just help guide us through this life. Our faith and our strength and what we should rely upon ultimately, is our higher power. So if I'm always thinking, well, what is God's will? Maybe he wants me out here or whatever it may be, it'll always keep us, on that path. But, that day in California was a big jump for me, because I realized that, yes, I'm supposed to listen to other people, and yes, I'm supposed to take the messages and look at them, but ultimately, my reliance always has to be on him, or whatever it is that you believe in. And if we keep our reliance on God instead of on man, things will definitely run a lot smoother. So when you're in that situation and you're addressing a fear, and all the messages are there for you to do it, then you got to do it. And when you do it, you have to do it based upon what you believe that your will is for God, not necessarily based upon what somebody has told you, or you can't set up a fall person, because a lot of times we'll do that. We will set up an scapegoat for us to get out or to blame in case it doesn't go well. It's between you and God. The rest of us are just here to guide, or just here to support and love you through that decision. But ultimately, the decision always has to be between you and God. I was talking with somebody last night, and I was telling them that, what, sometimes really how I view life is that, it's just God and I. And everybody else in the world are just, helpers. And even my kids, I love my kids, but ultimately it's between God and I. Everything else is our big deals, but there are no big deals in life. Or very few. Let me say that. There are very few big deals. So why am I going to get caught up on little things that happen to me, every day? Why am I going to be fearful of getting involved in a relationship and having that person hurt me? Or going down that road thinking that somebody's going to hurt me? Or worrying about bills, things always work out in time. And I use the word, and I use time, T-I-M-E, things I must earn. But things do work out. We're going to continue again tomorrow with fear. I know I'm getting close to that 10 minutes. But just remember, it's between you and God. And keep your reliance on him. Don't shift it to another human being. But at the same time, understand and realize that God put other human beings here for us to learn from, and for them to guide us through this path. And with a little bit of humility, a lot of humility, we'll be able to keep our ears open.